So hey everyone, this is probably the last video of 2025, so I wanted to give you an overview for what my plans are for 2026. I intend to continue doing video reviews of both Star Trek and furry content. So, hopefully they'll be continue with the current rate of one a month, which seems to be about a comfortable level for me to complete. Um, the plan is to work on two large projects and hopefully complete between 5 and 6 short stories over the course of the average year. My plan is, to use the short stories to fill in the gaps with the bigger projects, cover any ideas that should come up, whether they be original concepts or something that expands on one of the major projects. And as far as my immediate release plans, I'm working on a couple of things that I had sitting around. And one of the reasons why I had a lot of things that were just kind of accumulating was that I was finishing things and just not releasing them for one reason or another. So I had a bunch of stuff that was just kind of collecting dust. And with the release of Winterfall last July, this past July, I decided that I needed to focus on what I had, that I needed to get everything complete, get them out the door, and just divert my attention to new projects and just kind of uh, work on them, complete them, and get them gone. Because otherwise they're just going to sit here forever, and it's just like I need to get things out and get things published and such. So the immediate plan for right now is like for the rest of 2025, I'm going to try and work on doing editing for one of those projects that I hope to release next year. I haven't determined exactly yet what my final decision as far as whether or not I'm going to try and solicit any potential interested entries into for a couple of short stories to add to the anthology, because it's a Blue Moon anthology. I was starting to work on a couple of series Bibles, but it's like there's a lot of stuff that I don't know if I haven't really had time to work on it because I haven't found a window to work on it. But it's just like, what do I include as far as what information, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I also want to provide a clear picture if I should choose to do that, which I'm still not even sure if I'll have time to do. Because, I've never arranged an anthology, and this wouldn't be a full anthology. This would just be like a couple of potential guest authors in this project. But if I do that, we'll see. It's one of those things that I'm going to have to try and figure out in the next couple of months and make a decision one way or the other. So I have enough time to get everything done in time to actually hit the publication dates that I want to hit. Right now, I don't have any active short stories. I'm still trying to come up with an idea. But I also want to try and start releasing the ones I have on a regular basis, because I have about 5 or 6 short stories, I think, that are accumulated that I just need to release. And truthfully, one of the things I tend to do is I tend to finish things and hoard them, mostly just because I kind of like to be able to be releasing things consistently. And right now, it's like without consistent ideas coming in, it's a little harder to get into the routine of consistent ideas going out. So, it's part of the effort of 2026 is to start releasing stuff and to start getting better about doing that on a quasi-regular basis. As far as publication plans, with luck, I will be releasing all 3 of the pending projects that I have finished this year, and starting on new work in 2026 for release in 2027. But the first of which is Vanguard Roswell 1947, which is a UFO project, as I've been calling it. And the idea for that one came from when I was playing XCOM. And, in the course of the game, you control this multinational alliance which has built this advanced base for you from which to defend against a vastly superior enemy. Well, the question that existed in my mind was, how did we get to this point? And, how did we know that there was a threat coming? Because you don't just get a secret base without having a reason to build it. So this story was kind of like an answer to that, and also potentially evolving into an idea of my own, which may or may not end up developing. Had planned to release both the prequel and the main story, but the main story never really gelled so far anyway, so all we have is the prequel. But that being said, it's still a really solid story. As a result of it being set up for what was supposed to be the follow-up, there is currently, it sort of ends not exactly on a cliffhanger, but a little bit of a teaser, I guess. So, you know, if there is a second one, we'll see. If not, it's still a good story on its own merits. I plan to release a Blue Moon anthology, which right now I have 12 stories of my own that I had written. The basic concept is that it's 6 different time periods. Each set of stories is written in pairs because they're also designed to be like a story and a follow-up. It really, sort of highlights different aspects of different wear cultures during different time periods in history, and anything that caught my attention as being interesting. We had a pair set in ancient Egypt, a pair set in in Europe during the Black Death. I have a couple that are set in Salem, Massachusetts during the witch scare, witch trials, however you want to refer to them, and a couple of werewolf stories set in the American West, and a story about a werewolf unit during World War II. You know, some of these are designed to explain certain aspects of my universe. Some of them, one or two of them, I think is just a standalone piece. And, you know, I mean, it does kind of, you know, I guess one of the reasons why I hadn't released it earlier is that there was some decisions I made that were intending to lead into future stories, which may or may not end up going in that direction. So I was kind of a little concerned about, like, writing myself into a corner, so to speak. But I mean, they're good stories, and even with them as they are, they still leave like a lot of wiggle room if I decide to change direction. So it's not exactly like it's, I mean, it's something that I think is worth releasing, something that I think I should finish, and hopefully I will get that out sometime in October. I'm working on the Winterfall sequel, which is largely finished. It just needs to be edited and reviewed, and any changes made and such. And that hopefully will be on target for a December 2026 release, because I would like to release the second Winterfall book during winter, and hopefully do that for any subsequent Winterfall books. But we shall see exactly how well that goes. As far as what happens after that, well, Winterfall Coldfront will be the last release in Phase 1, and hopefully I'm trying to group my projects by groups of 5, or 5 or 6 maybe, and we will see what ends up being established in Phase 2. Because there's a bunch of ideas and outlines that I'm working on, but I haven't yet kind of narrowed down which ones are going to end up in Phase 2. There are some that I would like to end up in Phase 2, but really, I suppose on a practical level, it really just depends on what outlines get finished first, what stories get finished first, and kind of like I guess the MCU that I'm kind of basing my general schedule on. Just like it kind of depends on what gets finished in what order, and you know, hopefully it'll be mostly coherent. I mean, by and large, most of the projects don't depend on each other, so it's not like it's not like I'm building a shared universe exactly, but also at the same time, you know, what ends up in what phase really just depends on what gets finished. And I don't want to necessarily nail myself into a specific set of, specific schedule, just because if I start work planning on finishing such and such a book and I get stuck, I kind of want to be able to put it on the back burner and develop it later and come back to it. So I mean, at least for the time being anyway, Phase 2 will be TBD, so expect a video on that hopefully sometime in 2026, either first or second quarter, and then we'll see exactly how that goes if I have a plan. Because hopefully, I mean, I'm trying to use the end of 2025 to get all my ducks in order, to get ready for steady releases during 2026 and hopefully beyond, and also to figure out what projects I'm actually going to be working on in 2026 for release in hopefully 2027, and so on and so forth. So for right now, we have a lot of things on the pipeline, which of course I will be talking about the closer I get to completion. And with luck, I will have lots and lots of room to be able to work on at least hopefully 2 major projects in 2026 for release sometime in 2027, and we will hopefully have some short stories lined up that I can be starting work on. And my goal is to hopefully start 2026 running and be able to sort of keep that momentum going. So that's the plan for right now, and I will catch you all in 2026. If you like post-apocalyptic fiction, polar bears, and adventure, check out my newest release, Winterfall, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. And don't forget about my werewolf novel, Blue Moon.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. You can also find me on Twitter and a few other places on the web, or support me via Patreon or Ko-fi. Zebra hugs!